How to grow chanterelles. Growing chanterelles is a bit more difficult than mushrooms or oyster mushrooms, but less demanding than growing porcini mushrooms. Chanterelles grow in both deciduous and coniferous forests. Most often they can be found among mosses in considerable shade under spruces. Depending on the weather, and they like high humidity, they can be harvested from June to November. You can take the necessary chanterelle mycelium from the forest or buy ready-made mycelium in the online store. When picking a mushroom in the forest, take good-looking, fully developed mushrooms. The best ones for mycelium are overripe ones with roots. In order for chanterelles to grow in our garden, they need to create mycorrhiza with appropriate tree species. These will be mainly spruces, but also pines, oaks, beeches and hornbeams. They don't have to be big old trees, well-rooted 2, 5, or 10-year-old trees are enough. A suitable place for cultivation is a garden with conditions that are as close to natural as possible. The substrate should be sandy and acidic, and in addition it would be well covered with moss. Gardening soil with a lot of deacidified peat will be good. They can usually be found in coniferous forests, in sandy areas. Mushrooms collected from the forest are crushed or mycelium from the packaging and mixed successively with 5 liters of peat, preferably fibrous peat, 1 liter of charcoal. Instead of charcoal, you can use ashes from a bonfire or fireplace where it was only burnt with wood. To improve the parameters and to improve the air and water conditions, it is worth using an additional 0.5 liters of gypsum and 0.5 liters of vermiculite or perlite. We moisten the substrate prepared in this way. To check whether the substrate is properly moistened, the easiest way is to squeeze the substrate in the palm of your hand. 1 to 2 drops of water should fall out between your fingers. Around the selected tree, up to 5-meter distance, holes should be prepared with a depth of up to 15 centimeters and a diameter of approximate 30 centimeters. Preferably, the roots should be visible. The prepared substrate should be poured into the hole halfway up and about 0.5 liters of previously prepared substrate should be placed in them, and then covered with a 5-centimeter layer of soil. The whole thing should be watered abundantly. Sugar can be added to the water, 1 gram per 1 liter of water. And yeast solution, which are food for mushrooms and increase their production, then cover with leaves and twigs or garden bark. The place where the mycelium is applied is best mulched with bark, needles or leaves from the forest. The first chanterelles should appear in the next season, and the mycelium bears fruit for 2 to 3 years. In case of little rainfall, the growing site can be watered from March to November. If there has been no rain for 2 weeks, the crop must be watered. Remember that it should be rainwater, because chlorinated water is not suitable. The crop can be established from April to late autumn, but the best time will be when they grow and bear fruit in nature, i.e. July, when there are the best conditions for spore dispersal. The first mushrooms may appear after 2 to 3 years from the moment of vaccination. Another growing factor is one you can't control, such as the weather, which means that yields can be poor even with careful cultivation.